Welcome back to another episode of Ian is a Weirdo. As today I'll be working a little bit on my harness and chest harness that I'm working on the commission. I decided I'm going to go in a different direction with the flowers. I like where this is going for lavender, but I'm going to make some different color choices. If you don't know how I made this, I made it in another live. I think it's called Secret Valentine's Surprise or something. I didn't check the poll results before, but I did see that some people went like weirdo. Um, uh, weirdo Valentine's gifts. I think that this would be a really cool weirdo Valentine's gift. Once you make it and you complete it and you've got all the ribs, um, then you could put like a heart in there, and that would be really cute. I was thinking about making a bunch of these and selling them for Pride, but just like the amount of like sewing that you have to do is a little annoying. But I was like, I don't know how much I would sell them for. I mean, I feel like you could sell them for a good bit because they're a pretty unique piece here. So it's only inside out too. It's like once you see it, you can't unsee it. Ugh, change that. So the title is a little dramatic, and that's because I'm feeling a little dramatic. um, I guess what I wanted to say is a lot of people see me as someone who is a very thick-skinned person. I try not to get riled up too much on here. My persona on here is very different than what it is, what my personal life is and stuff like that. So I've had a couple of things this week that have really thrown me off my usual vibe, and all of them kind of culminating in this depression that I'm experiencing. And it sucks because I obviously want to be like out and participating and hanging out with you all. I mean, that makes me so happy. I honestly can't even tell you how like important you all are to me. And then sorry, I'm trying to find this video. But there have just been some things that have really gotten me to a place where I'm just not able to really kind of take care of myself like I need to. And it gets really hard because I want to, I'm striving to be like more self-sufficient. And, sorry, just turning on this closed captioning. Well, we are way far back. Are we? I think we are. No, I don't think so. So, I guess I've been trying to be around more than I actually have been able to. Unfortunately, it's just really challenging when I'm kind of going through a lot of poor mental health things, and my eating and my sleeping haven't been right, and all these things. And I know it might just sound like I'm here like being grumbly and complaining, but like as much as food and sleep and schedule are important to everyone, they are very extra super high importance to people who are bipolar, because your Wait, was I supposed to make a different size one? God, it's so confusing. Oh, I've got to do the whole... I mean, I don't think this is that bad, so I might just go with it, but it'll make the jump to the next bones more weird. Okay, so... And this bone, wait, no, yeah, this bone, I did a little cinching of this little knobby bone because I wanted it to look more like, rather than just like a tube. Because we spent all that time doing all that work just to have it look like an insignificant tube. So I brought this in, and I feel like that looks a lot more like bony and organic than what we have here. I think this is fine. I think maybe I will add. I'm thinking I'm gonna go and jump to the 16 centimeters. Apparently, this is supposed to be 14, not 12. Because this is 12, and then she said do the same length for this, and then she was like, no, actually, it should be 14. And then I was like, wait, what? And then this should be 16. So I'm gonna do 16 on the next row, and then I'm gonna see how that looks, see how that fits. We're pretty similar size in the top, so I think that I can get a good idea of what it's supposed to look like, and if not, I'll just take out this third bone. Wait, what is happening? But yeah, I kind of wanted to say that I think I tried to give off like the appearance of like a thick skin, probably more than I actually do have. But for me, it's important to try to, I mean, it's important for my mental health to um, not give in to assholes, basically. And, um, but sometimes people get to you in a way that you didn't expect. And then also just a couple other things have happened this, this weekend that have really hit me hard. Um, and I don't want to I always hope that when I'm telling parts of my childhood and growing up and stuff like that, I try not to point blame at anyone, even at my the people who are technically my abusers, because I think a lot of things were done with the best intentions. They were just done very poorly. Um, but I had to fill out some paperwork for a therapist I'm gonna start seeing, and this is probably the first time I've had to actually write all this down. But they're like, if you were the victim of emotional abuse or neglect, please describe it in detail. And so it's like when you have a history like I do, it's so hard to know where to stop or start with telling that story. And so it pulls up a bunch of really raw emotions in you that you didn't quite know you had. Um, and so for me, that was uh, really challenging. And I didn't quite realize it at the time. I kind of did the way that I journal and stuff like that is I just write stuff out and I don't read it. But to make sure that this was in any form or fashion like legible to someone, I reread it and I was like, wow, this is it's one thing to know you've been traumatized. It's another thing to experience PTSD. It's a whole nother to literally write down examples, clear examples and details of your abuse, right? And so it really put me in this very weird place. And I even sent it to my good friend from treatment. And I was like, dude, like, I just wrote this for, like, therapy intake, and it's fucking sad. Um, and so he read it and he was like, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Like, I mean, like, I know it's just nice to have, like, that compassion, because there's a lot of stuff that I don't talk about on, like, a regular basis, because, for me, I'm very private about a lot of that stuff, because, again, I don't want to put blame on people who were just doing their best, even if their best pretty much sucked completely. Um, so I try not to bring people into that world, and try not to have that be part of the conversation, and talk about more so like the healing from PTSD and stuff like that. But this this just I gave like maybe 3 paragraphs is a lot, for like a little box, but I just went and went and went. And luckily, there was no character limit, because I would have surely reached that. And I just came out of it, and I was just like in a daze. And I think I had been having some PTSD nightmares, which if you have PTSD and you've had PTSD nightmares, you know that they put you into like a very weird state. Like, it's not just you sleep, you wake up, you realize that was a nightmare, and things are over. It can put you in a very like dangerous, dissociative, or destructive, or there's a lot of ways you can go with PTSD. So I'd have been having PTSD nightmares, and sleep got harder, and I didn't want to be awake, but then only wanted to be asleep. And it was just this really challenging thing. And then I had this really weird interaction, and this might seem dumb to someone who's not highly sensitive like me, but then I had someone on Marketplace, and I posted the whole conversation in Army of Weirdos. And like, I look back even at that, like the last thing I sent to them, and it was so like I was so mad that I was barely finishing words. I just would like skip to the next word, and so it got harder and harder and harder to read. But like, I was like basically, so I decided to put my Willy warmers on sale on Facebook, because those typically sell well. But so, I thought maybe they would sell well. Maybe that's a weird item to sell on Marketplace. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. But like, Marketplace has kind of brought out some like weird, extra weird folks. And uh, so what? So what someone did is they commented, and I'm not going to read the whole script verbatim. If you're in Army of Weirdos, you can see what someone sent to me, but it was very gross. It was very like, not only was it like, I would say sexual harassment, because they kept on trying to send me pictures of their boyfriends' genitals. But even when I said explicitly no, and the second time I said no, I was like, if you send me a picture, I will not make you anything. I will not make you anything. Like, I already set my boundaries. They're reasonable boundaries. Also, like, people were like, oh, make this thing, and it's like, look at a picture of me. And I can't, I'm not a fucking wizard, okay? I can't look at a picture and discern how big something should be. I need measurements. That's what people who sew and craft need, actual tangible things to do with that, right? And so, like, so this person refused to. So when I set my boundary, and I was like, if you send me this, I'm not gonna make anything. They're like, oh, well, you don't want money from a paying customer, and clearly you need the money, because you posted this on Marketplace. And so I basically told him to get fucked. Um, and at first I was mad, because like, they're discounting like any person who does any job that wants to get paid for it is somehow below them. And so that's originally what I was mad at. And like, I was fuming. I got on here and I was so pissed. I was so pissed, right? And then I started to kind of like reframe that situation where it was like, I'm fucking disabled. I'm waiting for a disability determination. I don't have ways to make money. I do need this money. And this person thinks it's hilarious to like blackmail me into making something for them because I'm disabled and poor. Like, fuck you. Like, it made me even more mad. It made me even more sad. And the thing is, with, a lot of mood disorders, right, is, is that strong emotions in any direction can lead to strong emotions in any other direction. So, like, once you start to get really mad, they can really easily transfer to feelings of being really sad or really happy and energetic and impulsive. Like, they can, so, like, it's about maintaining, like, equilibrium as much as possible. And, like, so when I experience things like that, when I experience them in rapid succession, it really puts me in this place of like, oh, like, what the fuck am I gonna do? But, you know, so I came on and it was like very like, no one has the right to be like, hey, you need money, like, I can treat you however I want. Cause, like, I mean, and that's still the message, right? But, like, it also hurts extra, it's like a bonus punch in the nards, if you will, when someone points out that you are poor when you are disabled and unable to work, and then wants to blackmail you and show you sexually explicit pictures. Like, it hits different, unfortunately. And it's just been hard. I haven't been taking a lot of things because I've started. Looking back on it, I can kind of start to see this as it like a de-escalation of my mood and how things are going. And um I can start to see that. And then when I look back, and then just like little things, like I'll be trying to like take a step towards my agoraphobia, and then because of how Mel's tone is. Like, and it's not even a bad thing, but it's just like, I'm so extremely sensitive that, like, sometimes a tone can completely wreck my mood, can completely wreck my motivation to try to, like, work on my phobia. And I just want to lay down and sleep and maybe not wake up. I don't know. It's a very difficult situation to be in and to be around. I understand that, being around people and other people having to deal with this with me is not easy on them. I totally recognize that. Um, but, you know, it's been a challenging week, and I think just one, like, talking about it, getting it out, being able to talk to you all about it. It's hard going on someone else's live. I've gone to a couple people's lives and tried to be like, hey, I've had a rough day, and people are like, that sucks. But then they move on because other people are having a conversation. It makes sense. That's what anyone would do in a live. So if I really want to like express like the full depths of my feelings, I kind of have to do it on a live myself, because I just, and plus that's a lot of typing. But there's a lot of factors that really contributed to my mood this week. I'm supposed to be getting my disability determination any day now, and that is also quite scary to me. I feel like my lawyer is telling me basically we have it in the bag, but in lawyerese, where it's like, you can't like hold him to it or sue him getting your hopes up, but he was so hopeful and so like giddy and all this stuff, and I really hope that that's like legit, you know. But there's just a lot of things compounding on this time right now, and I really want to. I've been really trying to do better. I've been cleaning more. I've been trying to organize meals more. All this stuff, and I'm trying to get over things that are really challenging to me as a person. And someone with anxiety is someone who has um, an eating disorder, someone who has just different mood instabilities. Those things are very hard to control if you only had one of them. So once you have like 50 of them and they're all combining and crashing over each other, it starts to get really, really difficult to handle things. And I've been trying to do better. I've been trying so hard to do better. But like, I think it's the reason I titled this video what I did. And the reason I feel like talking about this is because I just like I'm not tough enough for a lot of this, and coming to terms with that. I mean, I guess the thing is I know that, but when I put on a brave face and I try to be, I don't know, pseudo inspirational for other people going through a similar thing, I tend to like forget, and like I don't try to bring as many emotions here. And you all see a lot of emotions from me and know that that's maybe 10-15% of my emotions. Like, I am so full of emotions. I am so sensitive to so many things. I am highly irritable. I am very sensitive to noise. Um, um, I guess that's part of like the misophonia or whatever. I don't know. I'm telling like just a bunch of diagnoses, and it doesn't really matter. But like the situation is, the truth of the matter is that I'm a very sensitive person, and as much as I wish that I could deal with these changes in my life a lot easier, they are breaking me down this week. And I wanted so much to be more open about these things. And it's hard for me to not share with my friends what I'm going through, but I'm constantly in this, am I too much? Am I too intense? Am I, you know, giving inappropriate information online? Are people going to judge me? People going to think I'm stupid for getting upset over like a nasty comment that someone gave me on Facebook. Honestly, sometimes the wind blows and I'm just like, nope, in a bad mood. And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that reactive. But I am very reactive. And even if you don't see it on here, the truth of the matter is that I am very sensitive. And I do take a lot of the things said here very personally. And I know that it might seem counterintuitive to continue doing YouTube or doing uh, having Facebook group and hanging out and talking to all of you when I forgot what I was saying. I don't know. But like, I know I might seem a lot more sturdy than I am. And the truth of the matter is that I'm not. And sometimes I take the comments or, messages from places and I'm like, I just can't deal with them right now. And sometimes it's just one thing at a time and I'm able to regroup faster, but this is just like a bunch of things in 1 week, like I said, with all my doctor's visits last week and, just the fucking drama and conflama around that situation. And then the person on Facebook Marketplace. And then what else did I say? Just being more irritable, getting into more arguments in my relationship, which is not Mel's fault. It's just me being like, hypersensitive at that point. Doing a therapy um, intake form and having to describe my emotional abuse and neglect as a child in detail. Um, you know, that was probably the first, brick to fall or whatever. Like, I just didn't realize how much it was going to affect me. As I was writing it, I just did this free writing thing that I do where I just like pour it all out and then I can rein it back in later or I can just not read it later if I can't take it. But I read it again to make sure that I kind of got the major points. There were some major points that once I submitted, I was like, I probably should have put this. But I think it was pretty clear that there was a lot of emotional abuse and neglect in my life. But, it felt very validating to be able to talk to my friend and have him be like, and he has his own things going on. And he was like, I'm so sorry you went through that. Like, and I think, there's a lot of people who tend to be fixers and try to like fix you out of that situation, fix you out of those emotions that you're feeling. But when you read or hear someone say something that they experienced that was clearly like fucked up, you know, just being like, I hear you, I'm sorry that happened to you, you know, that I think that's one of the most effective ways to deal with it in my experience towards me. I don't need someone who, is constantly apologizing for what happened to me or tries to take it away or tries to minimize it. Hey, it wasn't that big of a deal. Look at what you grew up into, blah blah blah. Obviously that's not gonna work because I'm over here busted. But but just having someone who can be like, I'm really sorry you went through that, was really comforting. And I didn't talk about this earlier because I don't think I realized how much it bothered me and how many spoons it took. Starting from last Monday, so almost a week ago today, because it's Sunday the 4th. Technically, it's Monday the 5th at 2:30 in the morning, but who's counting? But but starting on Monday, it's just been kind of a barrage of very emotional items for me, and I think what maybe pushed things over the edge. Hey Zach, was putting all of those traumatic experiences down on paper and having to give them to someone who knows me from Adam or doesn't know me from Adam. What's the phrase? Who doesn't know me from Adam? Because I just like, you know, it's one thing to say, yes, I suffered this type of abuse and neglect. It's another to describe it in detail, to give specific examples, um, to have dreams about these things happening again and again, to have those things explain such a big part of your life. Um, you know, I I feel like when my PTSD flares, it seems like all other systems start to go, which makes sense. PTSD puts us in our fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. Um, and we go to our bodies. What is it? The limbic system. I fucking should know all this right now. And anyways, who cares? But basically, you go into like your lizard brain, where like all you can do is react. You can't think or process anything. And so that's where I was at. And I just kind of got there. And sometimes it happens. You're not thinking like, hey, I'm in this really upset state until like, you're upset. You know. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate you all listening to me, and I really do appreciate all of your friendship and support to me through time. It's been very important in my healing. But just sometimes your brain's not right, and when you deal with mental illness, you just have to. That has to be part of your acceptance process, right? It's just like sometimes my brain's not gonna work like I want it to, right? And so right now it's one of those times when unfortunately my brain is not working like I want it to. So I spent the last couple of days. Oh, my fan's not on. That's how things going bananas. Um. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate a lot of you thinking that I am stronger, more stable, tougher, whatever than I think I am, but the truth is, I'm just trying to hold it together. Some weeks are easier than others, and this video wasn't like in a place to bring anyone down. I just wanted to be honest. I mean, I think that's like what I see as one of my strongest qualities is my ability to be honest about the situation that I'm in. And it's important to me because, fucking shit sucks sometimes. Um, but I'm gonna save all the sewing for the end of the month. Um, yeah, I've wept this week. I've been just a soggy mess of a person this week, and I I feel like it's important. It's more important for me to be frank that like sometimes these things do get to me than to put on this face of like, I think that's one thing that I didn't do well. Some of you have been around long enough where you know that I took probably like a 16 to 18 months or something like that. 8 months? I don't remember. It was a while off of Facebook, of YouTube, and I didn't go on YouTube for a very long time. And I was struggling with a huge depression at the time, and I just felt like an incredible burden. I felt like I couldn't talk to people. I felt so alone, and I just missed having my YouTube family here. And I'm not blaming anyone for this. I try not to blame people for my own problems, and I just know it's the algorithm doing its thing or whatever. But like when I came back, a lot of those people that had been around weren't around anymore. And I don't know if it's just they stopped seeing my notifications or what, but like, it was really hard to come back and see that people weren't there like they were before. I was expecting like a hey, like so happy you're back, and it was like, oh yeah, like when you like recognize someone, you're like, I haven't seen him in fucking 10 years. Who the hell is this? Um, so and not that they haven't been like nice to me, all those people haven't been nice to me, but I just, I think it has to probably do with something with the algorithm and something like that, or they just wanted someone who's more consistent. But for me, I'm not a consistent person. My moods aren't consistent. Um, and as much as I want them to be, and as much as I want to be here, I think that's why I'm pushing myself to talk to you all about it, because I know I've done lives when I'm manic or hypomanic, and those are pretty scary, right? A lot of them I end up deleting because I'm embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed when I see one of those. But and maybe you could be like, oh, you don't need to be embarrassed. But like for me, it's embarrassing because like that's not me. I don't know that person, you know. And like we're different people, right? It's not that I have an alternate personality, or like dissociative identity disorder. It's just that in a state of mind where I get laser focused. It won't be before long. I'm not sure what what you're talking about, but sorry, I'm tired. Oh, you won't be here for long. Okay, that's fine. No worries. I appreciate you coming out. I know it's very late, and I apologize, but I took basically my maximum dose of sleeping meds, and it hasn't been kicking in because I slept pretty much all day because I was depressed. I wasn't eating, I wasn't drinking until um, like uh, you know later tonight. So it's just been kind of hard for my body to get back into the rhythm of kind of acting and being like a normal human being. So I'm gonna drink a lot of water tonight. I'm gonna hope to get some sleep. I'm gonna try to get into some sleep habits that I know generally help me. um, you know, and try to get out of this place, because I mean, obviously there's like a severity thing for depression, right? You can be mildly depressed, moderately depressed, severely depressed, and with this can come certain other things, right? And so I'm trying to catch it as early as possible, take care of myself, not push myself, but also trying to step outside of a comfort zone that lets me continue to be depressed and be more depressed. Does that make sense? Doesn't even get what I'm saying. Am I just saying words? I don't know. Um, and I I don't post a lot of my depressed content a lot, because usually when I'm depressed, I want to isolate. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want anyone to see me like this. I get very embarrassed, and for some reason, I was like, you know what? Like, let me just like not fucking hide anymore, and just give people like a peek into this experience, and also just like let people know that I while there's nothing explicitly wrong with being sensitive to the words and the actions of others, it's like you're not alone if you do have reactions to the words and actions of others. Does that make sense? Like, those things that happen to me early in the week, like, I'm allowed to be upset and have, you know, mood issues because of it. Even if I wasn't allowed to, I still do it because that's just what my brain chemistry says. But I need to keep a lid on it to a certain degree because I've got a lot of things in the works where I need my mental health to be as sparkly clean as possible. So I need to get out of this hole as quickly as possible without slingshotting myself into mania. Because that's possible too. Not fun. Not fun, but just part of the reality of bipolar, right? You know? So, yeah, I appreciate all of you listening. And just this has been a really hard week, and I at the time I was going through it, it didn't feel that hard. Yeah, I know. But like the thing is, I don't really bottle it up. Just I defer who gets that. Usually it's my wife, unfortunately. So I definitely need better. I need to work on my coping skills. I've learned enough that I should be better at it than I am. But sometimes you don't realize how hard something hits you until you reflect back on it. And that's where I'm at right now. Where I've been going through the motions of getting through the week, and then all of a sudden it hit me, and it was just like, it just took one little thing to push me over the edge, and I'm just falling into oblivion. And that's where I'm at right now, where I don't have a lot of, um, my sensitivity is so high up that I can't. Um, um, I mean, no, I don't know how to answer that question. So Mello, I described what happened this week. I'll give you a brief overview, but basically, I had a lot of medical appointments. They all kind of went, man, pretty bad. I talked about those, and then I I started seeing a new therapist, and I have to fill out paperwork. And in that paperwork, I describe my childhood trauma and neglect in detail. And that, I just kind of vomited out onto the page with my words. And and you know, yeah, it's so easy to bottle things, right? But it's got to come out eventually. That pressure will just cause you to explode. I'm sorry, my cat is going to cause me to explode, or I'm going to cause my cat to explode. One or the other. Peeking out here the window and instantly. You made a little turn, and I appreciate it. Okay, so I had to describe in detail my trauma growing up, which was very, very difficult. Didn't realize how difficult it was in the moment, and then I reread it and like, oh gosh. And there were things that I forgot even to write in the thing, and so all those things are coming into my mind. I've been having PTSD nightmares for the past couple of weeks. Haven't been sleeping right. I don't want to be awake. I don't want to be asleep. It's been very hard. And then I have to describe in detail my past trauma. Not good. Yeah. Hey, SGCD, passing by on Lisa. I really like your shirt. Thank you. My wife found it on sale at Walmart, like after, um, after, what's this holiday? St. Patrick's Day. And it's literally the stupidest looking shirt. It's in like a 3X. It's huge on me. And, it was like $3 at Walmart, like in April of a couple years ago. And it is a bearded leprechaun cat riding a llama unicorn with a rainbow in the background. We love buying stupid shirts for each other. Just a heads up. If you ever see a stupid shirt, please send me the link. Make sure it's affordable, but send me the link. But yeah, so you know, and like so, my kind of model for going through depression has often been like just like kind of tough it alone. I don't know why you're acting like a crazy cat, but you slow your jets, okay, sir? We're all thinking it. You're being weird. I don't know where he gets it from. Hey, baby. Um, and then just like to have someone put some pretty gross things to me in Facebook Marketplace where I sell some of my crochet stuff. Um, or like really, I start commissions there. I don't make anything for Marketplace. I just put pictures there, and I'm like, I'll make it to order if that's what you want. And so I placed my Willy warmers there, which tend to sell pretty good. So I was like, I'll go here. Maybe this isn't the place for it, but I'll find out. Whatever. And so, this isn't the first time someone's tried to send me a picture of genitalia for these particular items. Okay. I mean, you're allowed it. I mean, I'm not going to stop anyone from doing what they believe in. Um, but, um, but yeah, so this person, when I was like, please do not send me pictures, this person was like 5 seconds later was like, I'm just gonna send you pictures. And my boyfriend wakes up, and I was like, do not send me pictures. I will not make you a thing if you send me any pictures. Because like, first of all, I don't want pictures of people's junk. I just don't. Like, if I don't know you and want to see your junk, I don't want to see random people's junk. I think we're all on the same page there, right? And then I explicitly had said I don't want that. And this person was decided then to be an entitled pain in my ass. And they're like, oh, well, I am a paying customer and blah, 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 blah. You want the full conversation? I screenshotted it all on Army of Weirdos. It was very weird. Um, but then they were like, and I'm assuming you need money because you posted stuff here. And at first that bothered me because, like, I'm sorry, are you above the monetary system? Do you not need money? Like, what do you do or not do where you're just like, no, money's not necessary. I don't need it. So at first that bothered me to think that people who do stuff for money are somehow beneath anyone else because everyone is doing it to a certain level. Pretty much, am I right? And then, um, it was fucking weird, Zach. You're so right. And so, um, then I started thinking about it and got pretty, like, even more upset because, like, the thing is, it's like, I am disabled. I'm currently days away from getting my disability determination, and this is all that's been on my mind lately. And I'm doing what I can to survive because I literally have no other income. My wife is supporting us and our pets, and you are trying to make me feel bad and like blackmail me into making you something that's literally fucking $15. Like, yeah, I was like, I don't know what the fuck, like, why you think you're better than me because that's not important. Um, Mella. I know you probably didn't mean it, but it's actually not a cool question to ask. Um, but you didn't offend me. No need to apologize, but I just don't really go there. Um, so yeah, it's just like I just when people think that like it definitely like hit extra hard knowing that I'm disabled. Um, and knowing that these are one of the only ways that I can make money, yet somehow it's not good enough for some fucking mega cunt. No, I mean, please rail on them as hard as you want. They were entitled. You were absolutely right. Zach, you were totally right in reading the situation. They were entitled and they were mad that I couldn't make something for them. Because I wouldn't look at a picture of their boyfriend's ding dong and somehow magically be able to transfer that knowledge over. Also, I called them out on their measurements because their measurements were dumb. Yeah, they were literally dumb. Okay, so just for reference, this person was like, "Oh my god, my boyfriend's penis is so big," and blah 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 blah. They're like, "It's 13 inches long." This is 13 inches long. Just here's my head, okay? And then they were like, "And it's 3 inches wide." You know what else is that big? My fucking thumb. So this person either has a number 2 pencil over penis. No ding dong pictures. Or they have the wrong measurements. And I was like, I don't know what that means. I was like, so like you probably have the wrong measurements. And then they asked what the biggest one I had made was. That was weird because like I can fucking make a tube in any size. Ugh, it was so weird. But yeah, but the like end really got me because like I literally was like, you are so rude to people who need money. And last I checked, that's pretty much everyone, with the exception of a select few. So stop being a bitch and just like. So, okay, so I make this thing called a willy warmer, and basically it's the two-part piece. The first part is very similar to my packers that I make, and you pull that over the scrotum, and then the other part goes over the shaft. This is for people who have outies and not innies, if you know what I'm saying. And so, like some people, if they have a really long one, they need a longer shaft generally to accommodate their larger size. So it makes sense why I would need someone's size, but give it to me in a measurement. The picture literally does nothing for me. Nothing at all. Especially not when it comes to girth. Like I don't fucking know. But anyways, so like that particular thing, I did need a measurement or like some kind of idea. I was like, like your bottle size, um, your can size, fucking string cheese size. I don't know. I don't care. Just give me a fucking reference that I can use. But no. And they were, yeah. And I guess people think that like when you make an item like that you're kind of like, like extra sexual. Oh no, it's fine. It's totally fine, Zach. Don't worry about that. Um, they think it's like totally fine to be very sexual and very crude in the messaging. But at the end of the day, I'm a professional and you are a client. And so like you shouldn't even be saying like a lot of the words that they said and just like it was just very like it's like they were trying to like sneak in as many brags about their boyfriend's size as possible. And I was like, I don't care. Just tell me what to make. Like I don't care that he rearranges your guts on the regular. Do not care. Just tell me what size it was. So it was just like it's very rude, and then it really hurt my feelings that it had to end up that way. So yeah, one second, sorry. I got to send a message before I forget. Okay. Yeah, so they're very entitled. Should go to bed. I'm heading to Walmart and Michael's in the morning. Ooh, that sounds fun. I don't need to, but I'm probably gonna get my yarn and my yarn stash. It's a slippery slope, you know that. I'm trying to get to a point where I start making as much yarn as I'm buying. That's important to me. But yeah, we're about an hour now. So I'm gonna let you all go. You're in a hot car waiting to go. Well, I mean, I hope you're going somewhere and not how that might have sounded. Um, and take care, all of you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.